Richie here at Statifying Football. This is week 11 for the NFL. On Sunday, you got the Indianapolis Colts and the Buffalo Bills. Colts beat Jacksonville 23-17. Carson Wentz 180 passing yards. Jonathan Taylor ran for 116 and a touchdown. They had a block punt return for a touchdown. Buffalo, they destroyed the Jets 45-17. Josh Allen 366, two touchdowns and a pick. Stephon Diggs 8 catches, 162 and a touchdown. Gabe Davis 3 catches, 105, 489 total yards of offense. Defensively, they forced 5 turnovers, and Jordan Poyer had 10 tackles and 2 passes defense. It's going to be a pretty close game, I think. The Colts have a pretty solid defense, a good running game. They can keep Josh Allen on the sideline. Buffalo's picked by 7. I think it might be even closer to that, but I do think the Bills will end up with the victory in the end there. So Buffalo wins. All right, Baltimore and Chicago. Baltimore lost 22-10 to Miami. Lamar Jackson 238 passing, a touchdown, an interception, and 39 rushing yards, and 4 sacks defensively. Chicago coming off a bye a few weeks ago. They just missed beating the Pittsburgh Steelers. In fact, they had a game-winning field goal that hit the crossbar and bounced out. And they lost 29-27. Justin Fields 291, a touchdown, a pick, 45 rushing yards, 414 total yards of offense, 12 penalties. They can't do that against Baltimore. Defensively, they had 4 sacks, a fumble return for a touchdown, and Roquan Smith had 12 tackles, 1 sack, and 2 tackles for loss. I think Baltimore's going to bounce back here. Chicago's defense is pretty decent, but I think they're going to get after the quarterback. Justin Fields, I think, has been sacked the most in the NFL. I think Baltimore wins. All right, Detroit and Cleveland. Detroit coming off a tie with Pittsburgh, tied 16-16. Jared Goff only passed for 114 yards. DeAndre Swift had a good game with 130 rushing yards. They ran for 229 yards offensively and forced 3 turnovers by their defense. Cleveland, they got killed by New England 45-7. Baker Mayfield 73 yards, passing a touchdown, a pick. He was hurt. He should be able to play this game. Case Keenum had 81 passing yards. I think Detroit's better than their record is, but I think Cleveland will be able to bounce back and get a victory. All right, Houston and Tennessee. Houston coming off a bye. They lost to Miami 17-9. Taylor 240 passing. Tyrod Taylor 240 passing yards, but 3 interceptions. Defensively, they actually forced 5 turnovers, had 4 sacks, and 10 tackles from Neville Hewitt in that game. Tennessee, they're looking like maybe the best team in the league. They beat New Orleans 23-20 Ryan Tannehill 213 passing, a touchdown passing, and 1 rushing. Marcus Johnson 5 catches, 100 yards. Monty Rice had 11 tackles, and Jayon Brown had 10 tackles. Tennessee, Houston's kind of in shambles right now. Tennessee, like I said, they might be the best team in the league. They're looking like a surefire Super Bowl contender. Let's see if they can keep that going without Derrick Henry, but at least they should be good enough to beat the Texans. All right, Green Bay and the Vikings, pretty big game there. Green Bay, they blanked Seattle 17-0. Aaron Rodgers 292 passing, but threw an interception. Minnesota had a big win against the Chargers, 27-20 win. Kirk Cousins 294 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. Jamar Jefferson 9 catches, 143 yards. They had 10 penalties. They can't do that against a pretty good team in Green Bay. Green Bay is favored by 1.5. I'm going to go flip side here. Green Bay's looked really good. They're 8-2 on the season. Minnesota is a spoiler here, and Minnesota is trying to get maybe into the wild card spot. And I think Minnesota is actually going to win this game. All right, Miami and the Jets. Miami had a nice win against Baltimore, 22-10. Jacoby Brissett was only 11 of 23 for 156 yards. Tua came in, passed for 158. Defensively, they had 4 sacks and a fumble return for a touchdown. The Jets got killed by the Bills 45-17. Mike White, 251 yards, 4 interceptions, 5 total turnovers. Miami's defense showed what they could do against Lamar Jackson in Baltimore, and I think they might be able to do the same against the Jets. I think they win another close defensive game there. Miami wins though. All right, New Orleans and Philadelphia. New Orleans lost late to Tennessee 23-21. Trevor Siemian 298 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. Philadelphia, they beat Denver on a bit of an upset, quote-unquote, 30-13. Jalen Hurts, 178 passing, 2 touchdowns, a pick, ran for 53 yards. They ran for 214 yards as a team and had a fumble return for a touchdown. This is going to be close. This is going to go either way. Philly is favored by 2. North's defense is pretty good. Alvin Kamara didn't play last week. We'll see if he does. As a Bucs fan, I need Philly to win, keep the Saints away, but I actually think the Saints are going to win. This is going to be a really close game, and we're going to go Saints edging out the Eagles. All right, the Washington football team and the Carolina Panthers. Washington actually beat Tampa Bay 29-19. Taylor Heineke 256, a touchdown. They had a 39-minute time of possession and first 2 turnovers. Carolina, they destroyed it. Kyler Murray left Arizona 34-10. PJ Walker passed for 167 and an interception. Cam Newton had a few gadget plays, was 3 or 4 for 8 yards with a touchdown pass, and ran for 14 yards and a touchdown on the ground. Defensively, had 4 sacks and only allowed 169 yards of offense. This will be a good game. Washington showed they're better than their record. Carolina, though, seems like maybe McCaffrey back and Cam Newton back. Maybe they'll get off the schneid and win some. I think Carolina will actually not bounce back, but they'll get the victory over Washington. All right, San Francisco and Jacksonville. San Francisco destroyed the Rams on Monday Night Football 31-10. Jimmy Garoppolo 182 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. They had an interception return for a touchdown. Jacksonville, they lost 23-17 to Indianapolis. Trevor Lawrence was 16 of 35 for 162 yards and 33 rushing. They did actually run for 179 yards, so see if they can get that going. I'm not sure they will against San Francisco. San Francisco's defense looked really good against the Rams, and Jacksonville don't have anything like what the Rams do offensively. So I think San Francisco should win and possibly blow them out, but at least should get the victory. All right, Cincinnati and the Raiders. This is a big 4 possible wild card games. Both are 5-4. Cincinnati coming off a bye a few weeks ago. They got killed by Cleveland 41-16. Joe Burrow 282 yards but 2 interceptions and 3 turnovers total. The Raiders, they got shellacked by Kansas City 41-14. Carr 261, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Denzel Perryman 11 tackles and Jonathan Abram with 10 tackles. Like I said, this is big. This is big for a possible wild card spot. I'm kind of leaning towards the Raiders here. I don't know. I'm not sure what it is about them, but I just have a feeling they're gonna get this win in Vegas and have one up and for a possible wild card spot. All right, Dallas and KC. This is a possible preview of the Super Bowl. Kansas City, even though they're only 6-4, they kind of look lackluster this year. They are actually on top of their division right now. Pat Mahomes seems back. They killed the Raiders 41-14. Pat Mahomes 406 passing yards, 5 touchdown passes. Travis Kelce 8 catches, 119 yards. Darrell Williams ran for 43 and had 9 catches for 101 and a touchdown. They had 516 yards of offense there. Whereas Dallas killed Atlanta 43-3. Dak Prescott 296, 2 touchdowns, 431 total yards. Defensively had 3 turnovers and a blocked punt return for a touchdown. It's going to be a fun game. Should be a pretty high-scoring game. This is going to go back and forth. A lot of touchdowns. Whatever the over-under is 56. I think it goes beyond that. I don't know. Pat Mahomes look like maybe he's back, but Prescott's been awesome all year. I'm actually kind of leaning Dallas. I'm not really sure why exactly, but I think just Dallas is going to win. All right, Arizona and Seattle. Arizona, they got killed by Carolina 34-10. Colt McCoy 107 passing yards and a pick. They only had 169 total yards. Jordan Hicks had 10 tackles and a pass defense. Seattle, they got blanked by Green Bay 17-0. Russell Wilson actually came back. He passed for 161, 2 interceptions. Jordan Brooks 13 tackles and a tackle for loss, and Jamal Adams 11 tackles and a pass defense. I think this depends if Kyler Murray comes back. Let's see if Kyler Murray turn. Let's see if they're hopeful he'll play. If he comes back, I think they'll probably beat Seattle. If he doesn't, I think Seattle wins. And I'm not going to pick a winner. That's what I think. All right, Steelers and the Chargers. This is a big game. Again, possibly for a wild card spot. Pittsburgh tied Detroit 16-16. right at the last minute, the day before, Roethlisberger got put on the COVID list, and I think that's why they were able to tie. I think they would have won if he'd played. Mason Rudolph was fined 242 and a touchdown on a pick. Najee Harris ran for 105. They had 3 turnovers, though. Defensively, had 4 sacks. Joe Schobert, 13 tackles and a tackle for loss. Alex Highsmith, 11 tackles and 2 tackles for loss. The Chargers, they lost to Minnesota 27-20. Justin Herbert passed for 195, a touchdown, a pick, ran for 22 yards. Derwin James, 12 tackles and a pass defense, and Kaiser White, 12 tackles and 1 tackle for loss. Roethlisberger should be back here, but they've been kind of inconsistent. They missed their opportunity last time. The Chargers, even though they did lose to a pretty good Minnesota team, I think Chargers will bounce back. It'll be a good game. It'll be a fun game, and I think the Chargers win in the end. And Monday night game, the Giants and the Bucks. Giants coming off a bye. They beat the Las Vegas Raiders 23-16. Mainly because their defense. Daniel Jones didn't do much, only 110 passing and a touchdown, but they forced 3 turnovers and had an interception return for a touchdown. Tampa Bay came off their bye, had a disappointing loss to the Washington football team, lost 29-19. Tom Brady passed for 220, 2 touchdowns and 2 picks. Defensively, though, they had 5 sacks. Devin White, 18 tackles, 2 sacks, 3 tackles for loss. Lavonte David, 14 tackles, and Antoine Winfield had 11 tackles and 2 tackles for loss. Tampa Bay secondary, they suck. They have to get it better. The excuse of their secondary being hurt is out the window. It's been most of these guys playing all year, and that's pretty much why they lost to the Washington football team. They had 5 sacks in a game. They held them to under 100 rushing yards, but let Washington convert a bunch of third downs with the secondary. They got to tighten that up. I think they'll bounce back. It's a Monday night game. Mike Evans is 1 touchdown away from setting the franchise record. I don't think Brady will start out that badly again. I think they'll be fine. I think they'll beat the New York Giants on Monday night. So those are my picks for week 11 of the NFL team. Check out my other videos later. Peace.